The streets of Cameroon turned deadly. Burning tires, chaotic crowds, and gunshots filled the air. What started as a presidential election soon spiraled into violent clashes between civilians and security forces. At least 4 people have been reported killed in the unrest. This is the shocking story of Cameroon's election chaos. Cameroon, a country in Central Africa, has been on edge since the presidential election held on October 12, 2025. The incumbent president, Paul Biya, age 92, was declared the winner with just over 53% of the vote. But his main challenger, Issa Chiroma Bakari, rejected the results, claiming they were rigged. The announcement sparked outrage across cities like Douala and Yaoundé. Protests began immediately, with civilians blocking streets, setting tires on fire, and confronting security forces. Reports of gunfire and beatings emerged as unarmed demonstrators clashed with police and army units. In some areas, snipers were allegedly deployed, adding to the fear and chaos. Internet and communications were disrupted, leaving citizens in the dark about the unfolding events. The opposition called for calm, but frustration and anger continued to grow. In Douala, one of Cameroon's largest cities, eyewitnesses reported chaos in the streets. Cars were overturned, and barricades were set up as protesters tried to make their voices heard. In Yaoundé, the capital, similar scenes played out, with riot police using tear gas to disperse crowds. Human rights organizations condemned the violent crackdown and called for accountability. The violence has affected ordinary civilians. Families have fled their homes in fear. Schools and businesses were forced to close. Some residents described hearing gunshots in the night, unable to sleep, worried for their safety. Aid organizations warned that the political unrest is worsening the already difficult humanitarian situation, especially in Cameroon's Anglophone regions, which have been struggling with conflict for years. Paul Biya, one of the world's oldest serving leaders, has been in power for over 4 decades. Critics say his continued rule has contributed to corruption and inequality, while supporters argue he provides stability. The election has exposed deep political divides, with many citizens feeling that their voices were ignored. The opposition's rejection of the results threatens to prolong instability, as citizens demand transparency and justice. International observers and governments are watching closely. France and other nations have expressed concern over the violent crackdown and the suppression of information. Meanwhile, local authorities insist the situation is under control, promising investigations into any misconduct. Cameroon's streets remain tense. The future is uncertain as citizens continue to protest and call for accountability. The election violence is not just a political issue, it's a human story of people caught in the crossfire. What happens next could determine Cameroon's stability for years to come. One thing is clear: the country is at a crossroads, and the world is watching. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true crime and global unrest stories.